So I was sitting in the garage at my house on one of the 6 couches that we had because my wife cannot pass up a halfway decent deal on Facebook Marketplace. We met a lot of really sketchy people in a lot of really questionable neighborhoods to buy a lot of really shitty couches. All because my wife has a Pinterest account and she gets all these big ideas about how she's going to fix this couch up with this reupholstered something, and she's going to flip it and we're going to make money. And what that means is that I'm going to go pick the damn couch up. It's going to sit in my garage until she gripes at me enough to do whatever it was she's seen on Pinterest. I don't know about y'all, but I think there's a special place in hell for the fellow what invented Pinterest, you know what I mean? Anyway, I was sitting on one of them 6 couches in my garage. And the reason we bought so many couches, honestly, is because my wife, she sat at home bored because she was 8 months pregnant. And we had just got this new house and she wanted like new furniture and all that stuff in it. And we was going to really fix all these shitty couches up. And wound up we had too many damn couches because she couldn't say no because she's sitting there 8 months pregnant and she was kind of like bedridden for a while. So she's just sitting there staring like this and messaging random ass people. And I had to deal with it. And anyway, we was sitting on, I was sitting on one of these couches and I was thinking about where I was in my life. 10 years ago, about 12 years ago or so, I was playing minor league baseball and I got released from the team that I was on. I had this little, I bought this little guitar, you know, and I had to get a real job. And that baseball was my dream, and that's where I kind of learned to start playing. So I'd never picked up a guitar before then. I kind of started playing these songs, you know, and writing songs and stuff, and fell in love with it. And, once I got released from baseball, I was like, well, that's it. I got to go out and I got to work in the real world now. You know what I mean? I got to go out and get a real job and do what everybody else does. And so I did that for a while, but I got lucky, and people kind of liked my stuff. You know, I was going out and playing, singing songs and stuff, and people just kept coming out. Nothing big or anything, about like this, you know. And I told myself whenever that started and I was able to quit my real job selling compact equipment, I was selling skid steers for Bobcat of Bowling Green. Let me tell you something. I was like, whatever. Once I was able to quit that and get back into making music, I told myself, I said, if I could ever just get to where, because I still had like part-time jobs and stuff, but if I could ever just get to where I'm going full-time making music, then I will be satisfied. That's all I ever need in my life. That's my next dream. That's what I want to chase for the rest of my life. And it took me about 10 years, and I was sitting on that couch, and I was, that's what I promised myself. I'd be satisfied, you know. And then when I was sitting there, I was like, shit, I've lied to myself because I'm not satisfied. Then I got to thinking about every time I ever got to anywhere I ever wanted to be, I always wanted just a little bit more and whatever was next. So I got that idea in my head that maybe for a guy like me, there's no such thing as satisfied. Maybe I'm always going to want just a little bit more. And I hadn't decided whether that's good or bad, but it's worked out pretty good for me so far. And just then my wife come in, who, like I said, was 8 months pregnant, and she maneuvered her way around them 6 couches. Waddled's what she did. Don't tell her I said that. That's why she told me I couldn't tell the story no more. But she come in there, and what she had was a mortgage bill for this farm that we bought. It was a farm that my dad had lost and sold to his aunt. I was able to buy it back many years later, and I was excited about it. What they don't tell you about all that is that the bank does not give a damn about what your financial situation truly is. They will give you that loan, but you got to make them payments. And I was like, golly, she handed me that mortgage bill, and I was like, golly, these sons of bitches just want more and more and more. Then I got to thinking about that, and I was like, well, maybe there was that word again. And I sat down and wrote a song about always wanting more, folks always wanting more from you. and never being satisfied. And it's called More. It's a pretty honest song about where I'm at in my life right now. It goes with something like this right here. Pack of wolves in suits and ties don't knock to say hello. They cross the T's, dot the I's, and tell you how much you owe. How much do I gotta pay before you let me go? More, more, more. Everything you ask of me is all I can provide, but your desire to be free is something you can't hide. How much do I gotta do to keep you satisfied? More, more, more. More money, more time, more everything seems. There ain't no such thing as satisfied or catching any dream. It don't matter how much that I have, I'm always gonna need more, more, more. And all the work that I put in is something I can't fake. There's only so much I can bend until I catch a break. And I've given all I know to give. How much will it take? More, more, more. More money, more time, more everything seems. There ain't no such